What would be the number one coaching cue to resist injury and maximize performance? Why is good form important?
For those that don't know, my name is Brian Carroll. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a McGill Method certified provider, having powerlifted for over 21 years and ending on a high note of being the first person to squat over 1,300 pounds. I now work with people all over the world from both a virtual standpoint and in person here in Jacksonville, Florida, with injury, resilience, and performance enhancement. I'm not giving you medical advice. For more information, go to poweractstrength.com. Thank you so much. Enjoy this video.
Let's take an example of Jiu-Jitsu, for example, where the whole intent of the sport is to compromise an opponent's joint and put it into a position where they submit. Because they know with very little force applied, it'll either tear or injure, or it will become unbearably painful. So the idea is to strengthen and position your own body into a position of resilience and put an opponent into a position of weakness. Now, why would you train that way? So the idea is to build a pain-free ability through avoiding the stress concentrations that lead to injury and enhance performance. So the last part of that whole logical story is, what does injury do? Well, almost always injury reduces joint stiffness or creates joint laxity. So consider a knee with a damaged ACL ligament, for example. The knee rotates, but then it gets a little clunk to it, and that will create tremendous stress concentrations and further pain and set up arthritis, etc. In this particular model, this dynamic disc designs model, this joint is normal. This joint is normal. This joint has been damaged just a little bit. It's had too much of a stress concentration from poor lifting posture, shall we say. Watch what happens when I now apply a general torque to this spine. This joint doesn't move very much, nor does that, but the one that's lost stiffness now has all of these micro movements. Well, now look at the load on the facet joints working away at that one level. When I bend it, the majority of the bend occurs at the joint that's lost stiffness. There's now more load on the nerve roots. The disc bulges a little bit more. So in order to use technique and posture to remove that as a further damaging, create a stiffness with muscular bracing, create a muscular girdle. Now, what's a very good powerlifting coach, who are the people who bear probably the greatest load of any athlete, what would be the number one coaching cue to resist injury and maximize performance? Stay tight, wiggle under the bar, get all the slack out, to stiffen out these micro movements.
Looking for the answer to your sleepless nights, sore muscles, and better overall well-being? If so, PowerAct Strength CBD has you covered. All of our products are made of CBD isolate and have 0% THC, meaning there are no worries of failing a drug test or the worry of feeling high. With PowerAct Strength CBD, we offer a wide range of products and payment options to ensure you have the option that best fits your needs. Don't just take it from me. All of our reviews and client testimonials on our site speak for themselves. You can even get 20% off your order by using code YT1306 at checkout. Go to poweractstrengthcbd.com to order now so you can get back to sleeping, recovering, lifting, feeling, and being better.
So in summary, I can't argue for training with poor form. There are some who do, but I would say yes. If you have very low load, there are times to create elasticity in the body. Those are elastic athletes. Those are people who throw baseballs 100 miles an hour or hit a golf ball well over 300 yards, but they are not taking heavy load into their spine. So there's a time and a place for what you would consider poor form. But if you're loading it up, good form is the hallmark of every high-performance, resilient athlete I know, but they come back injured when they violated that.
Yep. And you want to not sacrifice form, and you want to build perfect engrams. So it's a default motor pattern. You don't want it corrupted by breaking form all the time. And then that can cascade as well, where the more you deviate form, it seems like in my experience, the more people break form it just continues to be a situation where they break form even more, and then pretty soon they're super sloppy, and it's just an everyday training session where they break form just to muscle the weight up. And then those are the people that we see further back.
Yeah. You build resilience and training capacity by not overloading the tissues 24/7. You're allowing them to adapt and build as much reserve, shall we say, so that you can train with resilience and to a higher volume. So your ability to enhance fitness, whether it's strength or power, endurance, your window that you're creating to train becomes greater with better form. And you can even go to, I was at a gymnastics meet not too long ago, and you hear the coaches on the sidelines, don't break form. You can go to a marathon and hear a coach yelling, in the last mile, here's the runner. They are almost completely spent.
Yep.
But who wins? It's the one who keeps good form.
Yep. And it's, I believe you say in back mechanic, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but you perfect form and then you practice perfect form every time. You don't, you learn it. And just like the engrams or movement patterns or lifting form that we teach people, they start slow and then pretty soon it becomes automatic, but you practice that every time, regardless of the weight on the bar, and you respect it.
How often do you hear from a back injured client who comes here and says, you're not going to believe this, I hurt my back picking up a sock off the floor?
That was the tipping point for me.
Yeah. So such a modest item as a sock took out an athlete who used inappropriate form.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
Hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember, like, subscribe, share, click the notifications because we drop videos twice a week. We also have a live stream every Friday where I answer your questions. Click below to see the latest video that we uploaded. Also, for our products, our CBD, our books that correspond with these videos, it's down in the description. For more information about all things Brian Carroll and Power Act Strength, go to poweract-strength.com. You can book a consult both virtually and in person with me. Enjoy your week, and thank you so much.